Hey siblings, today I am talking about cohabitation, aka fat and sit. But before I get to the video, guys, I'd like to thank you so much for watching my videos and for subscribing. You have no idea how much it means to me. It's one thing to be supported when you make it big, but for people to be there for you from the very foundation of something, it takes a lot of faith. It tells me that you believe in me, and it tells me that you believe in this channel and the vision that I have for it. So thank you so much. Thank you. Like I am so grateful. Thank you so much, guys. I can't wait for us to grow together and remind one another of these days when we only had 200 subscribers or more. So I'm really grateful, particularly because when I started this channel, the first few videos, I was really nervous and I was all over the place, but you guys still watched and you still subscribed and you still liked, and that means a lot to me. I think I only started being myself in these videos when I started talking about the narcissistic personality disorder. That's the first video where I was just my authentic self and I wasn't nervous. But guys, the fact that you've watched from the very first video up until this video, it shows that you believe in me, and it shows that you believe in this, and honestly, it means so much to me. There are times when I just feel like deleting all these other videos because I feel like, you know, when you feel like you're not putting enough work into something, not because you're not putting enough work, I know I am, but guys, if you're a perfectionist like me, you will agree with me when I say that with a perfectionist, nothing is ever enough. When you do something, you're going to feel, when you're done doing it, you're going to feel like, okay, this is okay. But then when you put it out there, you now feel like, no, maybe it's not enough, maybe I shouldn't do it. Which is also why I took so long to start my YouTube channel, because I was constantly thinking things have to be perfect to the T. I know that there's still a lot of room to improve. There's still a lot of things that I need to improve about this channel, but like at this stage, I believe that with people supporting me and people believing that this channel can get somewhere, it's what keeps me going, and I am really grateful. Thank you so much, guys. Let's go straight to the video. So cohabitation, aka fat and sit. Guys, our law does not recognize cohabitation as a legal relationship. So if you stay with your partner and you're not married, the law does not recognize that as a legal relationship, no matter how long you've been staying with your partner. So the idea that if you stay with your partner long enough, most people usually say 6 months. If you stay with your partner long enough, they automatically become your spouse. Our law does not recognize common law marriages, so no matter how long you stay with your partner, they are not your spouse. They are still your boyfriend, and you're still boyfriend and girlfriend. However, there are various legislative acts that recognize couples in a cohabitation relationship. The Domestic Violence Act, the Medical Schemes Act, and the Income Tax Act. Those acts interpret spouse to include couples that are in a cohabitation relationship. But other than that, the law does not recognize cohabitation as a proper relationship. However, there's a domestic partnership bill that still needs to be adopted as law. And only after this bill has been adopted as legislation, then couples in a cohabitation relationship will have rights. But until then, today, the law does not recognize cohabitation relationships. So if you stay with your partner and they are taking care of you financially and they die, it means you will be left with nothing unless they have a will and they have made provision for you in their will. But if they don't have a will, then when they die, you will be left with nothing. Another thing is if before you met your partner, obviously you stayed separately, then after you meet, they have a house, you have a house, and you decide, okay, let me leave my house, let me sell my house and move into your house with you. If you decide to do that, and at a later stage the relationship ends, because you know when the relationship starts, it's all butterflies, and then only later, today you're the love of my life, and then tomorrow it's a completely different story. So in that particular instance where you decided you're going to sell your property to be with this person and you stay with them, in that particular instance, if the relationship ends, it means that you will be left with no house and they will still retain their house. However, if the house that you stay in, if you contributed to the purchase of that house, you could have an unjustified enrichment claim against your partner. But if you didn't contribute at all and you decide to move on with them and you sell your stuff, you sell your house, it means that you will be left with nothing when the relationship ends. But if the relationship ends and you feel like you're entitled to a share of your partner's assets, you could approach the court and claim that a universal partnership exists between you and your partner. In order for you to prove to court that a relationship partnership exists, you have to satisfy the following requirements. Number one, you have to satisfy the court that the partnership was for profit. Number two, that the partnership was to benefit both of you. And thirdly, you have to prove that the partnership did indeed benefit the both of you. And lastly, you have to prove that the partnership was, or rather is, legitimate. And once the court is satisfied with that you have lived up to those requirements, then the court will divide the assets accordingly. But it's very hard, it's very difficult to prove that there was a universal partnership. So in order for you to be in a safe side, if you're going to choose to stay with your partner and not get married, the safest thing to do will be to conclude a cohabitation agreement. A cohabitation agreement is more like an antenuptial contract. In it, you will outline what happens to the property, how you acquire property while still together, how you make financial arrangements between you and your partner. And you will also outline what happens to that property should the relationship end. So it's more like an antenuptial contract where you outline what happens, how you share the assets once the relationship ends. In the case where there is no cohabitation agreement, then it means, guys, should you and your partner separate, you are entitled to nothing that belongs to them. So whatever it is that you acquired before the relationship or during the relationship will belong to you, and whatever it is that they acquired will belong to them. You have no claim for maintenance. You can't take the, because there are a lot of people who like saying I'm going to take my partner to court because they wasted my time. It doesn't work like that. Should the relationship end and there's no domestic and there's no cohabitation agreement, then it means it ends, unless you've made contribution and you believe that you're entitled to something and you can claim the universal partnership. But if that one fails, it means you are left with nothing. So to be on the safe side, if you're going to stay with your partner, make sure that you have a cohabitation agreement. Or you better hope that they die with a will, because if they die and they do not have a will, then it means that you're entitled to nothing from their estate, because the Interstate Succession Act does not make provision for partners in a cohabitation relationship. So please, guys, to be on the safe side, have a cohabitation agreement and make sure that the cohabitation agreement benefits both of you. Make sure that whatever it is that don't sign something that you do not understand. If you have any, if the cohabitation agreement is there and you believe that you're going to be prejudiced in a certain way, don't sign anything. Make sure that you approach your contract lawyer, ask questions until you understand, and then only after you understand every single term and every single condition in that agreement, then you can sign. So if there's no agreement, like I said, it means that you'll be entitled to nothing from your partner, and they also will be entitled to nothing. When the relationship ends, everything that belongs to you goes to you, and everything that belongs to them goes to them, unless it's unless you have an unjustified enrichment claim. Then you can take them to court for unjustified enrichment, and you will only be entitled to the part that you contributed and you feel like they were unjustifiably enriched. That concludes our video. Should you have any questions about cohabitation, feel free to comment and I'll try to answer you. If you don't comment, you can DM me on Twitter or on Instagram. Thank you very much. I love you to the moon and back.